Kirk Hammett, Mike S, Big
Hey,
Pop.
yo, it's time to roar, get loud, let's ignite. Jeremy B in the house, we keeping it tight. Every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king, with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a lion's mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11, we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good evening. It is the NFL Roundtable Talk here on Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions and the Huddle Sports Network and everywhere else we're going into. How are you guys all doing today?
I'm good. I'm ready to watch some football tomorrow, even though it's preseason. It's football.
I'm gonna watch it. It's the Hall of Fame game, you know.
Oh, heck yeah.
I'm gonna watch two teams that don't have that many Hall of Famers play in the Hall of Fame game.
But I'm excited to watch the first Hall of Fame game played in July since 2000.
Is it really?
Tom Brady was in that Hall of Fame game.
Wow.
We got Benjamin Sport popping in the chat. Hello, Mike.
Oh.
That being said, we are going live also into Twitter. Ken the Bears fan and Rob Haskell. We have,
and we're in Lions Twitter too. I just pushed it. We're in the Honolulu Blue community.
Well, I did do the hashtag One Pride, so
I'd like to point out that Austin shares a birthday with Dak Prescott.
That's not talking about it.
That's unfortunate. I'm sorry.
I got Dak Prescott home.
So what you're telling me, he's like Dak Prescott, which is unlike a microwave, because at least a microwave heats things up in the last 2 minutes.
Wow, the Kafka's
Kirk Prescott, Dak Cousins, same person.
See, you get Eva Longoria to buy your team, and now you beat Atlanta. You're beating Atlanta 3-1. Ooh, sorry, different football. Actually, I'm looking forward to her new show on the Coxa, which is the team she bought in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're playing Atlanta right now in the League Cup Phase 1, and they're beating Atlanta in Atlanta 3-1. We're in stoppage time right now, so Atlanta's going to lose this game.
I'm a soccer fan too, by the way. I'll talk to you later about that.
So I do have notes from Lion Central here about what's going on here for the game coming up.
Hey, JB, look at the comments real quick.
Oh, look at that. I'm going to have too many people tonight, Mike. That's why I didn't reply on Twitter. And, of course, it's Smoking Dad. Yes, I fixed it.
Yay!
At least you did something right.
Yep.
Wah, wah,
It was StreamYard settings. But we have on offense, I have the offense note here. Hooker is going to be starting the first half. Kyle Allen taking the second. They may rotate for quarter instead. They haven't decided that for sure, but it's looking like Hooker is the starter. Could be a lot of Craig Reynolds, Ty Robichaud, Sion Baki, Jabari Small, and Jacob Taylor, who just got signed, the UFL running back MVP. He should get at least 10 snaps in this game. They say Tesla will only play about one quarter, but it should be a lot of Lovett, Meeks, and Bell, along with the camp cockroach that will not die, known as PK85 Tom Kennedy. At tight end, you will not see our boy Laporta Potty at all, but you'll see Yaboa, Zylstra, and watch if Zach Horton lines up at fullback instead of tight end.
if I can impart any knowledge on the Lions fans as a Bears fan from playing this game last year, it's this. If we were in the Hall of Fame game last year for the Bears, we had some big performances at quarterback and wide receiver that generated a lot of buzz. When the season started, guess what? That quarterback, that wide receiver, neither were on the Bears 53-man roster. Just saying.
Are you talking about Brad Rippon?
Ripken ended up getting cut by the Bears at the end of camp and signed with Minnesota. And the wide receiver, well, what was his name now? It's eluding me. But he got signed to the practice squad after camp. But none of them did anything during the season for the Bears. So it's fun. We get to watch football tomorrow. It's cool if they don't get a rain delay that cancels it, a rainstorm that cancels in the third quarter like it did last year. So, if anything, just look at, okay, at least we got football, but any of your heroes from tomorrow night's game probably won't even be on the team at the end of camp.
No, but you just didn't. Go ahead, Ken, and then I'll say something.
No, it's just a weird thing about the Hall of Fame game. It's like, it's just great we have football, but after that, it means nothing.
And it's even weirder that it's on NBC, and we're still going to have to hear Chris Collins would go, even though I may not know this guy. Now, here's a guy here who I don't know isn't going to be on the team. Now, here's another guy here who isn't going to be playing week one. And here's another guy who's not going to be playing week one. Oh, but here's a guy who's fourth string and looks like Patrick Mahomes because I love Patrick Mahomes. My love fest for him on NBC last year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, here's a guy.
Hey, here's a guy who, man, this guy can really look at that route tree. He can run it, but he won't be running it during the NFL season because he won't even make the practice squad.
And then on the O-line, it looks like all the starters and Skipper will not play because Skipper might have to play the first 2 weeks of the season while Decker heals up from his shoulder clean-out surgery from the scar tissue. So you're looking to see a lot of Manu, Mutai, Jones, and Egwakun.
The big egg.
For this team to throw in extra, you expect to see a lot of the third, fourth, fifth, sixth strings, if you will. But come next week, though, for the true week one, because Detroit has some position battles like Chicago does, believe it or not, and Minnesota might have one or two, and your team might have some position battles, right? In Chicago, I've got a couple. I've got left tackle. I've got a position battle going on a corner for second string. I've got a kicking battle. Those guys, you'll see those starters in preseason week 1, 2, and 3 because of the position battle. But for tomorrow night's game, you're going to see a bunch of guys from both teams who are probably third, fourth, hoping to make a roster or a practice squad look or get signed by someone else.
Interesting note from Calvin Shepard on the defense. Agude and Hassani are going to be the starters. It looks like Al-Qadim Muhammad's time is limited and his time with the team may be limited because he's been the worst performer so far through camp. The other ones that will play are Uku and Nate Lynn. There's no Talik Williams because he's slated to be the starter while Aleem McNeil is hurt, and I kind of expected that because he's just getting back into playing shape after missing some time due to an injury. But Pat O'Connor, Cooper Jr., Chris Smith, Miles Adams, Raekwon Williams, and Broderick Martin will get a few snaps, as well as Roy Lopez.
Oh, so Broderick Martin's not as hurt as we thought.
He finally came back to practice.
Okay.
The linebackers will be Cunningham and Stewart, but expect a lot of time for Trevor Nawaz and Deron Gilbert. Pittman and Turner should be available too. The starting corners will be Rock Yassin and I can't believe I have to say this again, DiCaprio Boodle.
Who?
Leonardo DiCaprio's poodle? Wow.
Yeah. No, I said his mom must have been a Leonardo DiCaprio fan with him being 23 years old.
I'm happy.
So I'm wondering if he's a white slow guy that can't jump.
Probably.
But you're also going to see Whiteside, Russell, and guess who else returns to play this week? It's Ennis Rakestraw, and maybe a snap for Maddox. The safety should be Norris, Strickland, Kennelly, and Jackson. But with what has been happening with Norris over the last couple of weeks, he may not even be the starter.
I'm looking up this Boodle guy.
So did anybody watch the Inside the Den episode 2 yet? Austin, did you see it?
No, not yet.
When they were considering drafting Ratledge in the second round and they were getting ready to move up, Sheila literally looked, can't he play center too? So that means everything that I thought might happen this year with the whole Ragnow situation, they already knew at the draft.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't think something like that. Ragnar would just like drop on the team. I figured he had many conversations with both Sheila, Brad, and Dan before.
Wanted to throw that out there, but they expected it.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of expected that they expected it too, because a player like him, you don't just. It happens, but if it happens where it's like on a dime, it's because something significant has happened, and that wasn't the case here. So, you knew that it's still a drop off for him, because whoever it's going to be probably is not going to be as good as Frank was from the jump. But at least they were able to plan for it, and then get one of those post draft surprises. Oh, by the way, I just decided to retire.
Right.
I kind of figured they had a talk or two beforehand.
So I have to ask, because I don't have any news from the NFL that broke today that was anything spectacular. All I saw was training camp notes for a couple of teams where they're worried about quarterback controversies like the Saints. And
No, there was news.
What just happened?
Well, it happened today, but Hendrickson, changed his holdout to a hold in. That's kind of significant. He's in Cincinnati. He's he's doing what Roquan did. He's going to meetings. He's sitting on the sideline, but he's not practicing. That could be a step in the right direction. And then the dumpster fire that is the Cowgirls just continues in this words of Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones. More fuel to that fire. Micah is saying more again how they're dragging their feet and slowing this process down, and Jerry then saying Jerry stuff. So that's been going on. So those are kind of continuations, maybe not breaking stuff. And then, of course, the contract situation with Scary Terry. He's at camp. He's practicing. I think what we're going to find out at the end, it's more about the years and guarantee, not about the $30 million. I think that's where we're heading at with Scary Terry. And then the Wilkinson, or the guy from the Raiders. Wilkins, thank you. It dropped that there may be a second foot injury where he refused the surgery as well. So between that and now this HR fiasco where he kissed a player, whether it was on the forehead as hazing or whatever is unknown, but that may have led to his being cut. So there was a little more that broke on that, but there's a lot of controversy with Adam Schefter. A lot of people are thinking Schefter is making this plain Jane vanilla as a favor to the player's agent to get a better scoop down the line. But we'll find that out as the grievances get aired. But a lot of people in Vegas are being tight-lipped about this scenario. And I'm wondering if he's ended up, getting a contract with another team, if he can pass a physical or not. So those kinds of things happen. Yeah. Otherwise, it's maybe you're right. It's a lot of clickbait, but it's more or less continuation of some of the stuff that's been going on for the last couple of days.
So I got two of them. Cleveland Browns corner Martin Emerson Jr. tore his Achilles and is out for the whole year. Yeah. And it was a non-contact, which is scary. And then the Bengals released Zach Moss after 1 year.
No, that doesn't surprise me.
I'm not surprised.
And then the Browns have said that the old man is going to get the bulk of the snaps, and Shedeur is highly unlikely to win the starting job there, and that their second round draft pick running back, they still are cautiously optimistic that he will play in the NFL this season, even though he's yet to sign a contract, as you're trying to figure out if there are even going to be domestic abuse charges, because right now, believe it or not, there are not charges, just accusations. And then, of course, the NFL.
Is that Quinshon Judkins?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're not ruling him out playing this year, but they're they're kind of in the rock hard place. I get it. But Cleveland's still a hot mess, man.
Oh, yeah.
Cleveland's always a hot mess.
Mm.
I mean, they're not going to do any good this year. Stefanski's going to get fired. That that ownership group has him. He's not playing games. They got a new stadium coming that's going to be a dome.
The only thing they got is a great defense, but that's pretty much
defense.
it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do they fire the head coach over these personnel moves, though? I mean, he's not a bad coach. He's getting what he needs to get out of that defense for sure. Offensively,
I like. No, I'm saying I agree with you, Kenny. He isn't a bad coach. He's been there for 4 years, and
he's not the problem in Cleveland. It's all
he's
these
probably the best coach they've had since moving back.
But I love that comment by Football Talk with Bo. Raiders always have something wild going on. It's true.
They do. It wouldn't be the Raiders if they didn't, and they got something going on the field too. They're going to make some noise in the AFC West this year. I think they're don't sleep on the Raiders.
So
especially when you got Pete Carroll.
Not with Pete Carroll. Yeah, exactly. Pete Carroll's going to have that team, up and moving and going. Yeah.
What were you saying?
Pete Carroll knows how to tailor his system to what his teams do best, and that's running the football.
Okay. So Jamie, anything going on with the Bills lately?
Maxwell Hairston survived a scare injury. Would in practice he had a non-injury or non-contact injury, and he was hobbling off the field with trainers, but luckily he could walk on it and put weight on it, and by God's miracle, he's only going to be out week to week or day to day. So it wasn't as bad as everybody was wild up about it. But I think he prays to God and goes to church with that one. Kind of like DeMar Hamlin had to do, but obviously that was much different. So
I don't want to talk about that. That was an emotional thing for me. That scared me.
Scared everyone.
Yeah, it did.
Mm-hmm.
And in Pittsburgh it was like that too, Will, because we had he played at Pitt, and then on top of that,
Jackson too.
Yeah, and he played at Pitt. And then he went to Stowe Rocks High School, and I lived right around the corner from Stowe Rocks High School, and I used to watch him practice. So I know, I know what you're feeling. I'm feeling the same way.
But luckily though, like I said, everything's good. And then last year he got his first full season to start, which was nice to see. The game I went to against New England, he actually picked off Drake May, which was cool to see.
Yeah. Who's next, JB?
Ralph.
Yes, what's up?
What's going on with good old things in Pittsburgh?
Well, I have this to say, and this was a quote. I was on a show before I came here. Roderick Jones, who happens to be one of our number one draft picks and offensive lineman, they're now calling him Bustrick Jones because they're thinking he could be a draft bust. He has he had a soft tissue injury. He's not blocking well. He's not doing his job. He might not even be the starter going into the season the way it's looking right now. But again, we have to take a look at the earliness of this. We're still early into this. Preseason hasn't even started. It'll start tomorrow, but a lot of games are not until next week. So they still have a lot of time to practice, get to know each other, do some different things, and we'll see what happens. But right now, Bustrick Jones is what he's called right now because he's an NFL bust, according to what I'm hearing from some of my friends on the ground there at Steeler training camp. And not really a lot to report. Isaac Salomalu still out with injury, and we'll see what happens to him. Mason McCormick has taken his spot. Famatu, our last year, our number one pick, he is moved in on the left side at guard, and then you have Bustrick Jones in there as well, and then taking over on the left side for open door Dan Moore, who went to the Tennessee Titans. Salomalu and someone's playing for Salomalu at guard, and then at the left tackle position, they got a couple different guys. Calvin Anderson's looking good. Aaron Rodgers is throwing interceptions at Jalen Ramsey, and Ramsey's running all over the field. I think our defense is going to be pretty good this year. I don't know about the offense. The line has to protect Rodgers, and we'll see where it goes. And right now, our number one pick, Harmon's running all over the field, so it's early yet. It really is. And
Ralph, I wanted to ask you, how's Jack Sawyer looking?
Jack Sawyer's looking really good, like I said he would. And
what
I
about
will
Zach
say this.
Frazier? I love that Zach Frazier kid.
Yeah, well, Frazier's getting bowled over by Derek Harmon, our number one draft pick. He's been getting bowled over, and he's one-on-ones. So we're going to find out what happens here.
I like the kid Peyton Wilson.
Yeah, I like him as well. But I called two picks this year for the Steelers. I called Caleb Johnson and I called Jack Sawyer because I think Jack Sawyer's the next T.J. Watt. That's just my opinion.
Heck yeah, he should be.
So
if he plays to the potential we saw while he was with Ohio State, I can see it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Jack Sawyer's going to be the next T.J. Watt. I really believe that to be the case.
But he comes from that team that rarely lives up to their potential out of Ohio State.
Oh, I know. Yeah, there's a lot of Ohio State players that don't live up to their potential. But we have one on our team, Cam Hayward. I mean, Cam Hayward has lived up to his potential.
Your backup quarterback has potential. I think if Rodgers doesn't do well, I like Will Howard.
I do like Will Howard.
Will Howard. Yeah. I think he's going
to end up being your starter, I think, in the middle of the season because I don't think Rodgers is going to last that long.
Could be. And I would do that. I don't know why they signed back Mason Rudolph. I know, he's what they call reliable. He won games for us when he was with us before. Stunk up the joint in Tennessee last year, but, we'll see, what he's going to do.
Luckily, Rodgers, luckily you only gave him a 1-year deal, which makes sense.
He's done after this year.
I do have to ask Will, because Megan and Austin get their news mostly from me and watching whatever news I watch too. So let's get you and find out what's going on with your Panthers. Are they still full of shit, or are they going to do something this year?
I think we're actually been pretty good this year. I think we're 7-8 wins. But
hey Jeremy, I think you're going to Super Bowl.
According to Canales, Bryce Young and Tat McMillan are both playing well, making good throws and catches. J.C. Horn and Jatavion Sanders both did stupid things in practice. Jatavion Sanders caught a pass in the end zone, spun the ball, which draws a penalty, and in front of Horn, and then Horn intercepted Bryce Young and punted the ball. And Canal said, "We're in quotes. We're a smart team. We can't make dumb penalties like that." Or he didn't say this part, but I'm adding to it. We can't make dumb penalties like that in a game. You do that in a game, you're costing your team 15 yards, possibly. So, other than that, team's looking good. And then Panthers had a surprise at training camp yesterday. Hunter Renfrow caught a ball. He catches the ball, and he looks up. And I'm a Clemson fan. I love Clemson. He looks up, sees his former coach, Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney, ironically, was the one who convinced Hunter Renfrow out of retirement.
I actually said that the Broncos have a chance of winning 13. Yeah. They got to get past both games of Kansas City this year. And I'm not saying they can't, but until I see Kansas City be not at the top,
don't sleep on the Chargers and the Raiders in that division. I'm telling you.
But yeah, that's what we got from Panthers country. Canales is liking what the
Kansas City just doesn't have the weapons or the firepower around Mahomes like he did when he had Tyreek Hill and everything. It's not the same. It's not the same Chiefs team because they run the ball more than they throw.
Yeah,
now, if you notice.
True. But yeah, that's what I got, JB.
Okay, good.
Hey, for Chicago,
the Super Bowl.
For Chicago, Brisker is practicing, which is a great sign after he missed basically 12 games after that concussion last year. He had a couple picks in practice, which is practice, but it's good to see him out there running around, ball hawking, and back to doing Brisker things. Considering the Bears have no safeties under contract at the end of the season, I think part of it is they're waiting to see what happens with Brisker, because when he's on the field, the kid is a playmaker. And, of course, seeing Luther Burden III take the field finally after a soft tissue injury was good for the Bears as well. Really, the Bears are looking pretty good injury-wise, Camp. The big thing is going to be the position battle at left tackle. You've got 3 good candidates. I think 2 are strong. 1, Kieran probably needs another year. But whether it be Braxton or Ozzie, I think the Bears are going to be good at left tackle. The kicking competition will be interesting, too, with Cairo Santos, the hero of Week 18 last year. They brought in a kid, Kim, who can belt them for 55, 60 yards out, whereas Cairo struggles anything over 48. He's automatic, usually under 48, unless you block it, which happened twice last year. So that's going to be an interesting battle. And, of course, the bigger news out of Chicago is the quarterback battle. And no, it's not for the starter. It's who's going to be the backup. Is it going to be Case Keenum, or is it going to be Tyson Bagent, Secret Bagent Man? That is the questions out of Chicago right now, but otherwise everything's good there.
Ken, I want to ask you real quick. Is there a way you think Chicago somehow keeps 2 kickers on a roster because of the thing with Kyra?
The problem with that is you have to then give up at a different position group. So that means you're carrying 1 less receiver or 1 less running back or 1 less lineman. I don't know if any team in the league wants to carry 2 kickers to take away from another position group. I love Cairo. He's been after Parkey, Cairo was the guy who came and stabilized the kicking game in Chicago after the whole Parkey incident. So, but if you go to week 2 last year against the Texans, why do we win? Why do we lose that game? Well, at 55 yards out, we're punting. At 55 yards out, they're converting 3 field goals, adding 9 points, which was the difference of the game. So the Bears, I said it last year, needed to bring in a guy to either who has a leg to kick it 55, 57, or Cairo needs to hit the weight room and extend his range. This is that. So if they cut Cairo, they save about $2 million. And if they keep Kim, he costs $850,000.
Gotcha.
That's going to be a fun battle. So it's nice, though, for Chicago to have position battles this year that are legit. Like that quarterback backup battle is going to be legit. Austin Reed's still in that mix, too. There's some good. Actually, we were just talking about Hal's. I like our depth on the offensive line better than I thought I did. Where the depth is wonky in Chicago is at wide receiver. After you get through the big 3, and then you get Scott, and then you get nothing. So they need a 5th, 6th, and 7th guy, probably. So that's going to be an interesting battle in Chicago as well.
Wow. Yep.
That's it for the Bears.
Oh, dude, you guys have a guy on the Bears named Bill Murray? That's awesome.
Yeah, Bill Murray's been with us now. This is his 3rd year, and that's the thing. Like when I was looking at depth, he's listed on the depth chart as 2 right now, which is about perfect for him because he's a good depth piece. He's not an everyday starter yet. He's young on a rookie deal still. I was like, okay, wait a minute. That's why I'm thinking the depth's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But it's great to have a name like that with a fan who also shares that name that we all know. So, you know what he did for his rookie hazing. But, no, their depth is a little bit better than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, for sure.
Awesome.
Lugnuts are a hockey team? I thought the Lugnuts were minor league baseball.
At one time, they were the Lansing Lugnuts is actually a team, but there is a semi-pro hockey team called the Lugnuts too.
And they're playing now?
Yeah, because it's like the summer G League for basketball.
Oh, okay. Because I have the Pensacola Ice Flyers down here. They're not in the AHL or the ECHL. They're developmental league, and they still wait till after teams break camp and the NHL season starts and they start. So this is like the D League kind of thing. Okay, cool. I'd love to watch some summer hockey. That'd be great.
And then there's also kids hockey going on all year long.
Yeah.
He got in Pittsburgh. We have deck hockey that goes on. So
we get street hockey.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize. just when I saw the Lugnuts, it came back to the Lugnuts. The AA baseball team at one point was a Cubs affiliate. Now they're not the Lugnuts anymore, and they're not the Cubs AA affiliate anymore. But I immediately thought Patty had gone to a baseball game, which minor league baseball games are fun.
I just went to one last Friday, the Red Wings, in Rochester, Innovative Field downtown, which was pretty cool.
Oh, hey, a Vikings fan is happy. Jared Allen's going to the Hall of Fame.
No man on the Minnesota Vikings, Lizzo.
And the Bears will get credit for him, too, because he wore the Bears uniform for a season. That takes us to 23. Yeah, it's that time of year. At least we're staying away from the click. Well, I've seen some pretty bad clickbait the last couple of days, man. But you know what's great though, JB, is next week we're going to start getting joint practices. Like Bears Dolphins are next week, and then their first preseason game is against the Dolphins. So I'm happy. While we're not getting as many preseason games, we're getting more joint practices.
I'm happy that the Steelers are not on Hard Knocks. The Steelers really don't like being on that show. Mike Tomlin said it was kind of a distraction a little bit last year. He didn't like it. But,
you know what, though? I'm going to push back on that, Ralph, a little bit when coaches say that, because look at Joe Burrow last year. Not only was he on in-season Hard Knocks, he was also on quarterback for Netflix. And look at the season he had.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Is it really a distraction?
Well, I don't know that. Mike Tomlin doesn't really like, he don't like it around it like that.
Congratulations. You got another Hall of Famer, but you still don't have a trophy. Just like the last. There. I said it for you, Ken.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say, it's Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's why they did the hockey shirt. So it was baseball. Okay. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't think these shows are as big of a distraction as they maybe were 20 years ago, because now it's not the big bulky camera crews, right? Like in a lot of the rooms, they just put cameras up in the wall and you forget they're even there.
But they work them like a drone. With a remote control, and it just works like a drone.
And there are so many cameras that practice during the preseason. It's just, what's an extra camera? You know what I mean? And teams do their own promotional stuff that's almost like that anyways. So it's like, what's the difference? And
for real.
I look forward to seeing Jamie's team actually. The Bills being on Hard Knocks. I'm actually looking forward to watching that this year.
Yeah.
I am too, honestly. And as a Bills fan, I wasn't originally for it, but I think the way they want it, like I said, the way they want to do it now, I mean, why not?
So I find it funny that Ben Johnson and Goff, when they were talking about, because I watched the Netflix quarterback series.
Yeah.
And the week before the Chicago game, they said, okay, we're going to do that play. And Ben asked Goff, hey, can you actually fumble the ball and catch it back like Love did? Or he goes, I'll figure something out. And they called the play Stumble Bum.
Yeah, there is that aspect to Ben Johnson in Chicago now. There's some video. I'm sure some of you guys have seen the clips. Two different trick plays. One was a trick play with DJ Moore. Actually, they both were. One was a DJ Moore running play. Another was a play where he handed the ball off to DJ Moore, who then threw it back to Caleb, who then threw it downfield. So there's going to be more trick plays in the Chicago Arsenal this year. I mean, what's Ben Johnson? So you kind of expect that. But yeah, that in quarterback, when they were talking about that, first off, that brought back such a bad memory for me, because I remember watching that game and oh my God. But then it's just the brilliance of Ben Johnson and the way that team works, and as a team between coach and players, and that really shows you how much coaching is a part of it, playing is a part of it. But if you've got good coaching and you can synergize with your team, you can come up with crazy stuff like that works. And that was, I hate it. That was a beautiful play.
And get this, Ken. Caleb Williams even said it too. He said, I wanted Ben Johnson. He's like, because he holds everybody accountable. And he's like, I feel like we didn't have that with Eberflus.
Yeah, that's been another theme coming out of Bears camp. And there was a clicky-baity article that actually had some truth to it. You know, a lot of people thought Ben Johnson was going to be the quiet football nerd head coach, and he's been a very vocal head coach and running the first team off the field if they're not doing it right and holding them accountable, which is what the players asked for after last season or during last season. So you're hearing no complaints off Chicago players for Ben Johnson kicking them off the field for being boneheads and doing stupid things and not doing things properly. They're actually responding well to it. So, Ben Johnson, I think he's going to be an okay head coach. I think he's going to be okay. I don't think he's going to be a franchise killer like a certain guy out of Boston, who every time he goes to a franchise kills them.
Oh, you mean like Matt Patricia?
Matt Papupa?
No, it's not. God, that doesn't even make
What?
sense.
Matt Everfart. I used to call him Everfart.
No, well, yeah, but I mean, and look at now he's an offensive coordinator for the Patriots again, which is where he belongs. He should never be a head coach again.
No,
I thought he was the
not at all.
for Dallas this year.
No, Eberflus's defense. Look, that was his first head coaching gig. His defense, you saw the slide when the Bears fired him in that defense. He does design a good defense.
Eberflus or Patricia?
No, what's his name? He's the OC now for the Pats again. He killed Denver, then he killed the Raiders.
Daniel.
Daniels.
That guy, every time he became a head coach, he killed the franchise. You know, he's a good OC, just a terrible head coach. I don't think Ben Johnson is going to be that.
Right. Well, anyways, Matt Patricia is now the defensive coordinator for OSU. I can't wait for them to do the one defensive line set and prevent.
Right. That's going to be hilarious.
Even Ken smiled at that one.
I mean, you know what, though? Like, with some of these guys, I get it. They're really good coordinators, and they just suck as head coaches, right? And some of them understand that, and they just go back to what they're good at, right?
Yeah,
there are a few out there, but some of these guys, man, I don't think Ben Johnson is going to be one of those guys who's going to destroy the Bears. I think right now, from what we're seeing coming out of camp and media reports, like, he is what the Bears needed offensively and overall, just as from the holding them accountable. The problem with Matt Eberflus is this, and people laughed last year when I said this. He's Phil Jackson. He's the football version of Phil Jackson, very zen, chill, laid back. The problem is this: if you're going to be Phil Jackson in the NFL, you need a Tex Winters who's going to crack the whip. And there was no one on that Bears staff last year who cracked the whip. That's Eberflus's problem.
Maybe you should fly there and crack the whip then.
Hey, look at that. Sam P1717 says Panthers Super Bowl in about 5 years.
5 years. Yep.
I agree with Vogel, man. I think they're gonna be much better. I don't know. They might even jockey for second in the division this year.
I think we are second in division.
I think it. As long as Raheem Morris is the coach of the Falcons, I think he's going to hold them back. We saw last year it didn't look consistent at any time. They started out hot, then Kirk Cousins became Kirk Cousins again. Then Michael Penix comes in, then he goes out, then he comes back in, and Penix did all right towards the end, but they didn't do enough. They became a middling team when they were supposed to be rivaling with the talent on that roster. Everybody said they had a chance to beat Tampa Bay.
And they did. And they head-to-head. And then Cousins took that shoulder injury, NOLA, and that changed the whole trajectory of his season and the team. I'm wondering, though, the question I have, though, is
yes,
my question is, who's going to be the starting quarterback? Because I don't think it's just Penix. Honestly, I think, dude, when Cousins was healthy last year, he was set team records. Like, Cousins is a good quarterback.
I know, but right now they saying Penix is the starter. That they're going to make Kirk Cousins that $40 million a year ride the
Yeah, who here believes?
Oh my gosh!
Who here believes if Cousins is healthy, that he's playing second
Cousins
fiddle
will be the head coach down there. Raheem Morris got to do something to save his job. I think if he doesn't do something this year, I think Blank's going to fire.
I'm gonna say something real quick. Petty Grab's up 6 foot. I think Bryce Young's like 5'9".
On a good day with platform shoes, he's 5'9".
Yes. But I'm 6 foot legitly.
I mean, because now, especially if you watch quarterback, you saw more of what happened with Cousins with the injuries. if Cousins healthy, guys. Man, I don't know how you start him over Penix.
I don't either.
Wait a minute. You got to take off, Ralph?
No, I just wanted to say New England actually has a couple former head coaches here. You got Josh McDomough, and then you have offensive line coach Doug Marrone. He was the Jacksonville head coach, Syracuse head coach. And then you have, yep, exactly. You got him there, and then you also got our defensive coordinators Terrell Williams, and then you have Scott Booker. He's been around. So, and Jerry Springer's son or whatever. So there you are with that. So.
Wasn't Terrell Williams with the Lions, JB?
Yes, he was our defensive line coach last year.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So that's New England's coaching staff. And I mean, Doug Marrone, he's a good offensive line coach. I mean, but again, here's another guy. He was a good college coach, just didn't make it in as a head coach in the NFL. I mean,
their head coach is Vrabel. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Vrabel, right. Yeah, Mike Vrabel.
Well, I think the Bears are the same way because you've got Dennis Allen, former head coach, who's now defensive coordinator.
Yes, good defensive coordinator. Very good defensive coordinator. Horrible head coach.
Oh. You've got Eric Bieniemy is now the running back coach.
Yes, Bieniemy. Absolutely.
I mean, you know what, though? I think with these new head coaches, they both, in Ralph's case and my case, have assembled really good coaching staffs. And I think that kind of speaks to I agree with you, but I think it speaks to the clubs learning their lesson with having weak coaching staffs the year previous. Yes. The Bears coaching staff last year was horrendous. The Pats were horrendous with the coaching staff that they assembled. And they really both teams made a concerted effort to not only bring in players like teams will do, but to really Randall Anton L was a steal for the Bears. I mean, it's not just like the head coaches. They made good choices at coordinators, at position coaches, bringing in these huge wealths of knowledge for two first-time head coaches who really, I think, would do fine even without all the superstar coach power they brought in. But honestly, these are two head coaches who could vie for coach of the year with the talent they've got not only on the field, but coaching with them. I mean, these are two teams that some people will write off, New England and Chicago, that could both really make a lot of noise this year, and their coaches will get a lot of credit.
Well, do you notice, though, Ken, and I'll say this, whenever a new coach comes into the league, they always have to align themselves with some really experienced assistants or they're not going to make it. And that's the bottom line right there. And they also take the coaches from the team they were with. Like Ben Johnson was with Detroit. He took Randall L., took a few other guys with him. And then I'm sure Aaron Glenn took a few people too up with the Jets. So when and Jeremy knows about that. But what I'm saying is that every time there's a new coach, they always and they've left from another team, like Dave Canellis. I don't know who he took from Tampa to go to Carolina. Liam Cohen, maybe he took a couple guys. I don't know.
Well, I think
it's going to be interesting to see these new coaches this year, Ken. It really is.
Well, like Daniels being the OC for you makes sense because that's where he shines. And you have a defensive-minded head coach. So you got a good OC to go with a defensive-minded head coach. And when the Bears, when everyone's like, we got to have Ben Johnson, I'm like, fine, but you got to have a really good DC because we saw with Eberflus.
We have Terrell Austin, and he sucks. I hate Terrell Austin.
But like you saw with Eberflus, great defensive-minded coach, but terrible OCs. And then on the flip side, you go to Detroit, which is completely different to all these teams. You have a great head coach who's a great motivator, brings everyone together, but he needs to have a good DC and a good OC because his situation is a little different.
He's got solid ones.
And I think I think he's got solid guys. I mean, I don't know. The play calling will be different there, and we've talked to Ignazi about that. But I mean, with the new coaches, it's important. If you hire an offensive-minded head coach, you best go find you a former head coach, defensive coordinator who's good. And if you're going to hire you a defensive-minded head coach, you best go find you a former head coach, offensive coordinator. That's good because if you do what the Bears did with Eberflus, you see what happened.
I call him Eberfart.
Yeah, Eberlus.
Eberlus. That was my name.
I like that one.
Jeremy got a good name for that.
Eberfluk.
No, it's Matt LaFleur because he can't beat Dan Campbell consistently.
Yeah. Hey, you're right.
Well, and even Matt LaFleur, though, is not immune to that. Look what the Packers had to do. They had to go out and get a college head coach who's defensive minded to become their new DC last year. And look what that did to the Packers.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to have the yin to the yang to whatever your head coach is. And the Lions are different because Dan Campbell's not offensive nor defensive. He's kind of the old school, all the above kind of guy. But
he's the players coach. That's what he is. He's the players coach that motivate players. And I've been saying this all along. But at the same time, if you listen to the coordinators that have talked, he's been a part of the play calling and the play designing on both sides of the ball.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's a rarity. He's that old
coaches
school.
that do that, Jeremy. That are actually on both sides of the ball.
Pete Carroll does, and he's got the pedigree to do both.
Yes.
The Harbaughs kind of do a little bit of both.
Right.
But yeah, for the most part, though, with these new head coaches, you got to pair them up with a great OC/DC. But then you got to be. But now here's the problem: if you're New York or New England, be prepared to lose your OC or your DC next year, respectively speaking, if the team does really well. So if the Bears make the playoffs and get to an NFC Championship game, Allen's going to be a head coach next year somewhere else. If the Patriots go to deep in the playoffs, someone will give the franchise killer a third chance.
So
Josh McComer.
Megan, what do you think of all this?
Oh, like putting my brain. It's crazy. You guys just.
Well,
I was wondering who that was sitting there. It's Megan.
That is Mrs. Austin Hacker, known as Megan Hacker.
Hey, Jeremy, we're surrounded by Packer Nation here, it looks like a little bit, and Bears, and we got a little bit of everything here. It's great. That's why I like this show.
I like this show especially. I made it for this reason. So we can get opinions not only of rivals, but of other fan bases about the news around the league and around the line. I want to hear what other people have to say around the league. I mean, Will has became a lot more well-rounded, but it's gotten to the point where he knows the Lions better than he knows his own Panthers that are full of shit.
Well, because the Lions
That's
are
a good
more.
thing, though. JB, I want to ask you real quick.
Sure.
Is there any college head coaches, I know it's early, who you think could translate to the NFL next year?
You know what? The guy that's kind of improved, if you listen to how he talks in his media days and everything else, who could come back to the NFL, because I just think he was thrust into a bad situation, is Matt Rule.
Yeah.
I guess,
Matt Rule could. Yeah, he's not doing bad in Nebraska. You're right about that,
let's
Jeremy.
take Vogel's question, though, a step
What happened
further,
to what happened to the Tennessee guy you liked?
Oh, I'd love for him
still
to
there?
come to the NFL, but I don't think he's ready to take over an NFL team front to back. I think he needs a couple years as an OC first. And I would love to bring that guy right here to Detroit and have him take over.
Here's the question, though, taking Vogel's question a step further, is what current head coach is going to be out of a job to be replaced by this college head coach?
Oh,
I think Kyle Shanahan's on thin ice.
Who? Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think Kyle Shanahan has been stealing checks ever since he was the OC of the Fail Can.
Mm-hmm.
I think Schottenheimer's going to get fired after a year, too.
I think Brian DeBoer should have been fired last year. I think he should be on eggshells this year. He's got Russell Wilson at quarterback. He's got,
Jameis.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I think Zach Taylor is a little bit on the hot seat this year, too.
Yes, I've been hearing stories about that as well. Yes, exactly.
I think Pittsburgh might be looking for a new head coach if they don't win a playoff game this year.
Who?
Damn.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Tomlin's contract runs out at the end of next year.
Tomlin made a deal with the devil.
He'll get his 20 years and he'll walk away.
Yeah, but if they don't win a playoff game, if they don't win this year, they'll gone a decade without a playoff win. How do you keep Tomlin for that last year without it?
This is what's going to happen, Ken. This is what I know. Art Rooney II, the owner of the Steelers, is starting to step down. He's going to start stepping away. He's letting his brothers and his kids run the program, all right, or run the Steelers. Some of the minority owners have gotten out, took their money and went elsewhere. Haslam's one of them that went to Cleveland because they couldn't get enough votes to override Art Rooney II to get rid of Tomlin. They wanted to get rid of Tomlin years ago, and they couldn't do it. So with Art II getting out, if he gets out and Tomlin's contract runs out 20 years in the league, I think they're both going to walk away. That's my prediction. All right, they're both going to walk away. So
for me. I mean, I'm not saying I kind of agree with that premise. For me, though, the only problem is if they don't win a playoff game this year, it's going to be really, really hard.
No, we get it.
One more year.
We get it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but the question is too, can Aaron Rodgers last a full season? Okay, that's the biggest question here, Mark, of the whole scenario here.
How much time did he miss last year with the Jets?
I think he played pretty much most of the season. I
mean, minus the Achilles energy, he's been he's been pretty durable throughout his career.
Yeah.
I suspect he'll play the full season. And that's the other thing. If this is his last and only season, it makes a good time for Tomlin to walk away at the end of the year too.
I think, well, not the end of this year. He's going to get his 20 years, and he wants to beat Don Shula's record for regular season wins. I think he can do it, and if he does, then he's going to walk away. Okay.
Yeah, they're going to be. They got a great defense there in Pittsburgh. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. I agree with you. It's going to be interesting to see what they do there. I don't know how much better he makes them over what they had last year. I know a lot of Pittsburgh fans are mad they let Justin go.
They were only on 1-year deals, though. Justin Fields and Wilson.
No, Justin's a 2 year, $40 million. Justin was 2 years, 40.
They banked everything on Kenny Pickett, Ken. That's exactly what they did. And they lost out on it. And I'm going to tell you this right now, and this is the truth. And I heard it from the horse's mouth down at the Steeler offices. They drafted Kenny Pickett in the first round because they didn't want the Dan Marino headache again. All right. When the Steelers did not draft Dan Marino, you should have seen the uproar in Pittsburgh. I remember that. Okay. I was one of them that was in an uproar. Why didn't you draft Dan Marino? Okay. If the Steelers would have drafted Dan Marino with that defense in his arm, we could have had 10 Super Bowls. That's that. You know what I mean? And they have not yet to figure out what to do after Roethlisberger left or retired.
I agree. Okay? I think I agree with a lot of.
They made big mistakes on all that.
Well, I agree with a lot of Pittsburgh fans that they should have retained Fields. Fields did a 2 year, $40 million deal with the Jets, and I think he's got the toe injury right now, but I think the Jets are going to make some noise this year. And when AG went out, made him his quarterback. AG, a guy who had to face him twice a year when Justin was in Chicago, that said something to me. Like, okay, he knows something that we don't. And I think I don't know. I kind of agree with Pittsburgh fans. They should have kept Justin. Even if you brought in Aaron Rodgers for the year, you still would have Justin there. He was 4-2 last year as a starter. Pittsburgh to me is a weird enigma. Great defense. I don't know what the hell to expect out of their offense or what they're even doing there.
If they let Aaron Rodgers call his plays, I think it'll be good. If Arthur Smith handcuffs him like he did Wilson and Justin Fields last year, Steelers aren't going to go anywhere. All right, it's a simple fact.
So, do you think Justin has a resurgence in New York? And
yes.
Does he get?
Who's the offensive coordinator up there? Is it still what's his face Hackett? Nathaniel Hackett still up there, or did he leave?
He's gone.
He's gone. All right. Well,
Nathaniel Hackett got thrown under the bus by Karen Rodgers. Remember?
Yeah, but he was still there, wasn't he?
He was fired after week 5 last year.
Oh, that's right. That's right, Jeremy. You're right. You are correct. Yes. Yeah, you're right.
The offensive coordinator for them is Tanner Engstrand, who has 6 years of experience.
He was with the Lions as well.
As the passing game coordinator, he's never been an offensive coordinator. He's been a passing game coordinator.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeremy, wasn't that the guy that they used to go out and get Dan Campbell's hot dogs out in the hot dog stand out there? But
yeah, he was in charge of making sure he went to Nathan's instead of Lafayette.
Yeah, Nathan's.
They got Steve Wilkes as their DC,
who's a good.
Steve Wilkes is a good DC. Yeah. Yeah, he's a good coach.
I mean, that's weird though. Like you have a defensive-minded head coach.
He didn't get a chance in Arizona.
And then you go out and you get a real good DC, and you have a first-time OC. That's dangerous. But if they let Justin Fields do Justin Fields things, I think they'll be fine.
I have a question for the panel. I know we're about to end, and I know he's coaching college. Would you guys ever think Ron Rivera would ever go back to the NFL? I know he's at Cal.
If River goes Ron, he's with him dealing with the cancer, going in and out of remission the way he's been and the weight he lost and everything else he's dealing with. If he ever came back to coaching, it would be as a coordinator, not a head coach.
That's what I was thinking.
So to answer your question, as of today, no. As of today, no. But prior to the Bears selecting Ben Johnson, yes, he wanted to be the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Right. But once they went with Ben Johnson, I think he's like, okay, kind of like Ryan Sandberg. I'm done. I'm not going to try anymore.
Hey.
At least you don't have Dave Wannstedt up there. He loves to shove a square peg into a round hole.
Wannstedt though, he does a great job on the Bears show on NBC Chicago on Sunday nights. He does do a good job with that.
That being said, rest in peace, Rhino.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's a weird eeriness too with the similarities. They both had cancer. Rhino just passed. Let's hope that doesn't happen to Ron. But when Sandberg didn't get the Cubs gig, he's like, okay, I'm not going to try anymore. And I think Rivera was the same way. Once he realized he wasn't going to get the Bears gig, he was like, okay, I'm done. I don't need this anymore. Like that's the thing that would have maybe brought him back to head coaching. I think if anything, you might see Rivera as a special assistant to someone somewhere because you won't have to put in the time and the energy.
Yeah, exactly. Or you could be a consultant or something, or work in the front office or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't see him being a head coach either with his condition. I just don't.
What did the Packers do? They hire these guys and call them the special assistant to the Matt LaFleur or whatever they call
the assistant in the movie theater.
So, they give him some weird title to kind of come in and give every so often. I think Ron Rivera would be something like that.
Yeah, the assistant to the assistant in the movie theater. Remember Fast Times at Ridgemont High? He said, you're the assistant to the assistant at the movie theater.
Mr. Spicoli.
Is it that time, Jerry?
Mr. Spicoli. That's the way he said it. It's real deep.
I need to rewatch. It's funny. I've been rewatching.
Jeremy, are we cutting you loose already? Oh wow, man! I'm having a ball. Let's stay here till 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm just kidding.
I don't care if we go or not, but I know Will probably has something to do. That's why he's like, I know we got to go soon. He usually hops on his stream over there.
I've got my buddy wants to catch.
Yeah, the Home Depot awaits you.
Home Depot. Whoa.
He works for Lowe's. At least he works for one that has.
Oh, Lowe's. Okay, I thought it was Home Depot.
We sponsored the NFL, my good sir.
There you go.
Wow, Orlando City just lost the
I'll be there Friday, JB.
All right. Tell everybody how they can find you, Will.
So my channel's WVogs18. I do comics. But most importantly, you can find me here on Wednesdays and Fridays. And occasionally as JB's co-host during the week.
All right. Thanks a lot, Will. Have a great night.
Have a good one, Will.
Have a good one, Will.
See you, Will.
See ya.
And Orlando City just lost to Pumas 4-3 on PKs. Wow.
I do that the easy way. There's always freezes. He never bounces out with his cricket wireless, so I just kick him from the studio.
Yeah, Ralph, I'm interested though. Like when we were talking about coaches, the dynamics of the coaching. I've been paying more attention to coaching the last couple of seasons than maybe I had before. I was very player centric. Like, why is the team not doing well? Well, our edge. Oh, our quarterback. And then, I go, especially last year, it crystallized. If it didn't crystallize for Bears fans, it never will. You look at that talent that Bears roster had last year. They're probably the biggest underachieving 5-win team in NFL history with that talent level on that roster.
Oh, here I'll tell you who else is a coach. Who was a coach for the Bears? That was a really good offensive coordinator, Mark Trestman. Trestman was a good offensive coordinator. Yes.
Yep. Horrible last year exemplified in Chicago. You can have all the talent in the world, and if your coaching is not up to par, it doesn't matter how talented your players are.
No, here's another mistake, Ken, that a lot of these new coaches make. If they're an offensive coordinator, they worry about the offense. Don't get somebody good on defense, and then just even forget about it. You can't be a one trick pony.
Right.
If you're a head coach, you gotta look over everything.
And I think Eberflus, like his two selections of OCs on paper, when he made the selection, they weren't terrible, but they turned out to be terrible, and he never course corrected.
Oh, he had what's his face? He's from Pittsburgh. He played for Pitt. He was with Green Bay. It was his offensive coordinator.
He had Waldron, and who was the other one he had?
Luke Getsy.
Luke Getsy. Yes, Luke Getsy. He's from Pittsburgh. Played for Pitt, and coached at Green Bay. Yeah, Getsy wasn't all that great as an offensive coordinator.
No, and because Getsy got a job.
Coach,
what now?
Good quarterbacks coach, though.
Oh yeah, great quarterback coach. But then he got fired by the Raiders mid-season last year.
Yeah,
and then we got Waldron, and he sucked too. And it's like, but you got a defensive-minded head coach. You got to go get a good offensive-minded coordinator. And I think
the Steelers were going to hire Waldron. They were looking at him whenever they were looking for an offensive coordinator.
I mean, it's tough though when you get these guys who've had, like Mike Martz is another great example. Mike Martz, the architect of the greatest show on turf. Okay. Lovie Smith brings him to Chicago after we get Jay Cutler. We're thinking, wow, we know Jay Cutler is a good quarterback. He's got a cannon. It's going to be the greatest show on turf in Chicago. The problem was he didn't have an offensive line that could protect Cutler for a 7-step drop. And
you got to have all the pieces of the puzzle, Ken. And if you don't, you're done.
It's done. And Mike Martz never.
Jeremy, we're taking over your show by accident here, I think.
Did Mike Martz ever do anything outside of St. Louis? I think that was it for Chicago. He was pretty much done.
I think he coached in college for a little while. He was a consultant somewhere or something. Did something cleaning toilets, I think.
He was the consultant to the assistant at the movie theater.
There we go.
At the movie theater,
the movie theater.
I got Jeremy saying that now. There you go. That's right. The assistant in the movie theater. Yeah.
That's the hard part with these coaches, though, because you get a guy who's like a really good quarterback coach, or Randall L., great wide receiver coach. Detroit fans know that. Primarily that's what he's going to do in Chicago for Ben again. But like, will he ever be a good offensive coordinator? Until someone takes a chance on him, and that's a problem with these coordinators. We're taking a lot of chances on guys who are passing game coordinators, or they promote up the ranks. They've got years of knowledge of NFL, but it doesn't translate nearly as often.
I'll tell you who stunk as a running back, and then when he was with the Steelers for a little while, all the Eagles fans thanked us, and that was Deuce Staley. And now he's a coach. He's coaching with the Patriots, but he was with Philly. He's with Detroit for a little bit or something. And Deuce Staley. You got some of these guys that Mark Malone could have been a good coach when he played for the Steelers. He was a smart guy.
I think
he's a newscaster now down in Dallas, huh?
I think Kirk Cousins is going to be a head coach somewhere. Is going to be a coach in the league afterwards.
Yeah, you just never know. Some of these guys might not be good on the field, but they might, they could be a good coach somewhere.
A guy who's earning his chops as a high school
machine. They could coach the main machine.
A guy who's earning his chops as a high school coach right now and doing really well. Robbie Gould.
Cedric Wilson, former Steeler wide receiver. He's a high school coach. Cordell Stewart just got a high school coaching job.
And Robbie Gould's coaching Viter. He's a kicker, and he's a head football coach. And he's doing really well, and he might become an NFL coach at some point.
The head coach of North Allegheny High School in Pittsburgh, Neil Walker Jr., hired a whole bunch of former Steeler players to be his assistants. Aaron Smith, he hired Jason Gilden. He hired a bunch of guys who were former Steeler coach or players, and he hired them as assistants. So,
Teddy Bridgewater is
my son's former.
Teddy Bridgewater. I feel bad for him. I mean, he got railroaded out the door. That was terrible. So what if he's giving money for and these players are eating steak dinners? Who cares? You know what I mean? He's doing good for these kids, and he was doing something for them. That's a shame. What happened to Teddy Bridgewater?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those people down there, that school board, they'll be ashamed of themselves. I mean,
100%.
So
he's doing something for kids. I mean, how many high school coaches do you know that are that good? We got a coach in Pittsburgh. His name's Donta Green. He coaches Westinghouse High School. They go to the City League Championship every year, and they go to the state finals every year. He does good for those kids, and it's not just football; it's personal too. I mean, he's like a mentor to these kids, and Teddy Bridgewater's doing that at his high school that he went to.
Yeah, I thought the whole thing with him that was blown out of proportion.
Yes, it was. Who cares if the kids are eating steak dinners and staying at hotels? Who cares?
So,
I mean,
my son's former high school, because he's just switched as a senior. He just switched high schools. Just hired Eric Harris as their head coach, and he played in the NFL for 9 seasons. He played with a bunch of different teams. I mean, he wasn't like all pro, but here's another. He spent time with he did Canadian Football League, but he was with the Saints, the Raiders, the Falcons, the Niners, and now he's a high school football coach here in Gulf Breeze. Which that program, part of the reason why my son switched high schools is in 4 years they've had 4 head coaches, and now they've hired 4. This is the first former NFL player they've hired. And that's another trend we're seeing now, that like these former NFL players becoming high school coaches.
Ken, I'm sure you have, and I think everybody on this panel pretty much saw the movie Any Given Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the part where we're at the bar and James Brown says to Al Pacino, high school's the thing you want to get into, because he says you don't have to deal with all the prima donnas, you don't have to deal with all the, and now college is becoming, a farce, you know what I mean, with the transfer portal, the NIL. Right. So, he said it. High school's where to go to coach. And if these athletes are doing that, that's great. Look at Nick Nolte in Blue Chips. Remember when he left at that team there? He went to a high school and coached basketball. So I mean, that.
You know what's funny, Ralph? There's NIL in high school football now too.
Oh gosh,
really?
Or in high school sports. So there's a kid. He just transferred out of Gulf Breeze High School. Runs the mile in track and the 2 mile, I believe, as well. Since his freshman year in high school, he's been NIL signed by Nike.
No, it's because.
Hey, did you guys ever hear the old saying, monkey see, monkey do? Well, now, since college is doing it, now high school got to do it now.
Yeah.
Next, the midgets will be doing it next. Midgets.
I mean, he gets free shoes and apparel from Nike, and there's a financial piece to it, but there is NIL at the high school level now, too, for certain things. Not many players are getting it, but it's out there.
But at the high school level, they're doing it right. They have to graduate.
Oh, so it's structured, Jeremy. Is that it?
Yeah, it's structured. They have to graduate to get that money. It's put into a trust fund until they graduate.
Right.
So if he transfers out, that money doesn't travel with him.
No, the money is still going to be his. He just transferred to a different high school.
Right, but he loses the apparel and all that side of it.
No, Nike's still giving him everything. The kid's ranked number 1 in the country.
If I remember right, the high school athletic association, the ones that run it, because all the changes on that HSAA is the initial for the state they're from in the front of it. And the high school athletic association said that we're not allowing them to transfer schools and still get paid just like in college.
Maybe it depends on the high school, because he went to one of those high schools, always like that one in Florida where all the football kids go. The one he went to is in Tennessee, and it's like a track high school where all the best track athletes in the country go. Right. So that might not necessarily affect him, JB, in that way.
I'm just saying, if he transferred to Florida, you got to look up the Florida high school.
No, he transferred out of the state.
Right.
But I mean, the guy, he gets all Nike, like the new Nike shoe. He's like the only kid on the track wearing it for the first week, and then it was when the second week everyone else had him. Say, I went and spent $400 to buy him. He's like but NIL's there in high school even. It's not like college, and I get look at the college NIL thing has been good and it's been bad. It's been good on the NFL side because now these players are coming in with 2 years mostly of having some big money in their bank accounts. And you don't see some of the stupid rookie money issues and behaviors you used to see. Some of that has ebbed because of NIL. But now because of NIL and the portals, the college game has been destroyed.
Yeah. Let's hope that down the road, Ken, that they and everyone here on the panel, that they do something with this NIL. I mean, I'm talking about seriously sitting down and putting a cap on it or structuring it somehow. Transfer portal as well. It's killing this. It's killing the NCAA. And I blame them for it because they should have structured it from the beginning.
But football players aren't even the biggest earners. That's the irony of it.
No.
It's
there's
college
basketball
gymnastics.
players, volleyball players, baseball players in college. Everybody's got their hand in the pie.
The gymnastics girls are making more money than anyone, than the volleyball girls. I mean, it's like you would think it'd be the football players. It's not. It's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's a big race with this NIL. And the University of Pittsburgh, they're behind the 8 ball. Penn State's ahead. They got $70 million that they put together for their NIL. So I mean, they're serious about it. And they got 2 really good assistants up there, Terry Smith and Bob Pelko. Bob Pelko was the National Sports Illustrated High School Coach of the Year 2 years ago. So I mean, and they have him as an assistant. And he's a recruiter for them for Penn State. Why do you think Penn State gets all the good athletes from Western Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Terry Smith used to coach at Gateway.
Going back to NFL really quick, because I almost forgot. A buddy of mine I was serving in the Army with, his son was an undrafted free agent rookie. He's playing with the Dolphins. He posted on his Instagram right after he signed, and I never realized this. Maybe we should have, but he posted all the swag he was given when he signed a contract with the Dolphins. And
there's another head coach on eggshells. I heard Mike McDaniel down there.
I love his press conferences. But so my buddy's son AJ Henning is a wide receiver. He was a kick returner for Michigan for 3 years, then did 2 years at Northwestern. So he had 5 collegiate years, and he was an undrafted free agent rookie signed by the Dolphins. He had multiple teams come after him, but he figured the Dolphins was his best bet. The amount of swag these guys get. He posted on Instagram. It was like 3 or 4 pairs of shoes. I mean, he basically could redo his entire closet with what they gave him. That to me was like, that was interesting too. You don't think about that piece. Like, this guy goes to camp and the amount of clothing he's given to go to camp is ridiculous.
Well, guys, I got to get going here. I've had a long day today. Yep. I had three incompetent service problems with the service industry today. I had a delivery from Walmart. I had to get this larger dormitory refrigerator, and I put please knock on the door and please bring it into my house. What does he do? Drops it on the porch and leaves. All right, drops it on my deck and leaves. Then I ordered from DoorDash to get some groceries delivered, and what's he do? The same thing. Dumps it on the at the end of the deck there, at the end of my handicap ramp. Jeremy saw pictures of my house. I got a handicap ramp there. And then I order out some food from a diner, and I said no gravy on the meatloaf and mashed potatoes that my mom ordered because my mom can't eat gravy because of her health system. And what did they do? They dropped it. Yeah. And that DoorDash guy left it on my deck and didn't bother to knock on the door, ring the bell, nothing. So
we've had similar issues here with Walmart.
And that's in the course of 30 minutes, guys. 30 minutes. That all happened.
It's awful when it all happens at once.
That's horrible. I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that.
Go ahead and tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
All right. Ralph Williams, RW Media, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X. Don't forget to follow me there as well. And also, don't forget I'm on Tumblr. I'm also on LinkedIn at times. And, I'm also, I have two radio shows on Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., 12:50 a.m. The Answer up in Pittsburgh. But you can watch it online at 12:50 a.m. The Answer, pgh.com, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. The Ralph Williams, Tony Moreno Show. We break down Pittsburgh, downtown Pittsburgh and everything, pick on the mayor. We've already been blamed for him losing the election, stuff like that. And then at 2 p.m. On 12:50 a.m. The Answer, 92.5 FM. Sports Corner Radio Show with me, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree. And we have a lot to talk about this week as well. And don't forget the part of the triple header, Ralph Williams Saturday, 10 a.m. Jeremy's been on the show. I'll invite some of you guys on the Saturday Sports Show with me, Ralph Williams, Leo Haggerty, and guests of our choosing. So, and this week we have Pensman Sports, Brian Pettit from the Tiger Paw Network, and also we're going to have Mike Sisak from Amped Up Sports also will be joining us. So, and Jeremy possibly as well if he wants to.
Not this week. I have family in from out of state, and I want to spend some time before they go back. So possibly
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What was that?
I have family in from out of state. My sister, my brother-in-law.
Nice.
Good. Enjoy your time with your family.
Yeah, so
Good.
I plan on spending as much time with them as I can when I'm not on here.
Okay.
So this Saturday, I'm going to have to do a rain check. I'll see you next Saturday.
That'll work. I'll pencil you in. So, you know. You're welcome. Thank you. So
have a great night, sir.
You too, man. Have a good one. Thank you.
Going out.
Ken will be tuning in to you and the other Ken in the morning. So once in a while, I tune in. So
now that you're not having a conversation outside of us now, Jamie, why don't you tell everybody how they can get a hold of you?
Okay.
Me? Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Jamie.
Okay, so you guys can follow me, yours truly at Bill's Chat 1 at Bill's Mafia Chat, and also at Jamie Malloy, the unbiased journalist, at DJ Dogtags on X, theforkball.com, and stadiumrant.com, where I write about all sports. You guys can also catch me on Driving to the Top Productions, where Joe Dalio and I just finished our season 2 finale of the Subway Conversation Chat, and we'll be taking a few weeks off. And on Tuesday, July 26th, or excuse me, August 26th, at 8 o'clock p.m., Jeremy and I, or Joe and I, will be coming back on that same platform to do the season 3 premiere of the Buffalo Sports Conversation Room. We do Buffalo Bills football on that, so make sure to tune in for the season premiere. Then you can catch me, Jeremy B, Ken, and the Huddle Sports Network boys here every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock p.m. And then you can also, and then every Thursday night, starting next February, we're going to be doing UFL recap with me, Smoking Jeremy B, Marcus, and the guys back at Driving the Top Productions. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, comment, and ring the bell for notifications. And then you can also, like I said, visit Facebook. You can visit YouTube, Roku TV, or Fire Stick TV, wherever you get your podcasts to listen to this platform. For Smoking Jeremy B, Ken the Bears fan, Austin, Megan, and everybody here at Huddle Sports Network. This is Jamie Malloy, and we look forward to talking to you guys next week at 9 o'clock p.m. right here on Huddle Sports Network. Good night,
Jamie's got that down, man.
No doubt, right?
Then tell them how they can find you.
Yeah, I'm so hard to find. I'm like JB. I'm so reclusive and hard to find. You can find me every day at 10 a.m. Central, Monday through Friday, doing Ken and Ken in the morning. You can get me at Ken the Bear Fan on X, which is right there on your screen. You can get me on the Huddle Sports Network, YouTube, at Ken the Bear Fan on YouTube. The Huddle Sports Network app on your Roku or Fire TV, so we can break your screens with our beautiful made-for-radio faces. You can do that as well. That's Monday through Friday in the morning. Wednesday nights, just preceding this show at 7 p.m. Central, we do House Hall Report, and then Sunday at 11 a.m. Central for pregame. But we do it all 52 weeks. We do the House Hall Report as well. And, of course, I joined Jamie and Jeremy B and the Driving to the Top crew on Tuesdays for their open mic. And I'm here every Wednesday night with the guy who follows me every morning of the week, JB. And I swear, JB, we see so much of each other. I'm almost starting to think you've moved into the backyard or somewhere at the house here, and I'm going to go to the pool and find you floating around back there.
Hey, if I was anywhere near you, I'd be in the pool.
Yeah. Every day.
He's on at 11 Eastern, 10 Central every morning. Yeah. I'm there at noon Eastern, 11 Central. And right here on this channel, on the Huddle Sports channel, on the Roku app, also on Facebook and Twitter, everywhere. You can also start after this week seeing my writings back on the Motor City Tribune. So I am very happy to be even though I'm still an intern and unpaid, I'm very happy to be published again. Because as a high school graduate, and that's it, I didn't go to journalism, people. I feel like that's an accomplishment. So thank you very much. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. Thank you, Austin, Megan, Ralph, Will, Jamie, and Ken. It's been amazing just talking a little bit about the Hall of Fame game coming up and different things around the league. And that's what I bring it in, is just to get a little different perspective. Leo, with Ken, it's the Know Thy Enemy tour. But have a great night, everybody.
Yeah, yo, it's game time, ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From NFL rumors to the latest trends, we got all your sports, just tune in, my friends. Catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, take your pick. Facebook, YouTube, where the action's slick. Daily shows that drop like a bomb. From 10 to 11, it's Ken and Ken, stay calm. Huddle up, catch the vibe, feel the rush. Get your news, get your fills in the clutch. Over 27 podcasts, we breaking it down. Join the team, Huddle Sports, wear the crown. Live every weekday, it's how we roll. Lions Talk with Jeremy B, we taking a stroll. From 11 to 12, don't miss a beat. We break down the game, make the info sweet. The Daily Huddle Podcast, noon to 1. CST Zone, we're just having fun. Toss your doubts, we bring the facts. Tune into the Huddle.